Hey everyone, a fellow by the name of Andy Cush wrote something for Gawker that was absolutely ridiculous. It blasts what he calls the influencer economy, and this is teenagers. The guy's got it in for teenagers. But basically what he says that really just absolutely pissed me off is that content is basically meaningless. It's not all there is. And then he says that, how do you put it? That teenagers don't know anything. They want to be influencers, but they don't know anything. Well, look, teenagers are two things: young and idealistic. The youth means they're not going to know things, but the idealism means they want to know things. They have ideas. They're willing to discover them, willing to share them. That's a great thing. But not every influencer is a teenager, and there's nothing wrong with being a teenager. I'll give you an example of what influencers do. Influencers, first of all, produce content. You want a great example of an influencer producing content? Some persons can influence you to get pissed off to make content that basically rags all over what they did, which is like what I'm doing with respect to Mr. Cush wrote, right? He wrote content in a silly effort to disprove content, which means that content matters, always. You can't diss content and not make content. Just talking is content. Putting it on text is content. Video is content. Photo is content. You can't escape it. You just can't. So you might as well do it well. The problem is that some brands don't know how to work with influencers, and some influencers do not know how to direct their brands so that each gets what they want out of engagement. But that aside, there are many examples of great partnerships and great examples of content that hits the mark. Right now, go to Google and make sure your private settings are turned off. It's the public ones. And type NFL Draft Hotel. Then click videos on Google. 9 of the 10 videos deal with the Congress Plaza Hotel, and they're all by Zenny62. Oh, hey, that's me. Well, it's my channel. Could be somebody else, but it's me. I was congratulating the Congress Plaza for great service and basically branding them as the NFL Draft Hotel. There's other great examples. Tap Influence had an engagement with Google for the Google Nexus phone. Twitter-based. They hit the Twitter trend with just 6 people. Or how about the great work that Vanity Fair has done with the Vanity Fair Social Club and influencers, a number of influencers. Louise, Jennifer. We haven't met yet, Jennifer. We gotta meet. And Louise, too. But anyway, the bottom line is they all did a great job during the Academy Awards. A fantastic job. Promoting brands like Chrysler, for example, and others. Chrysler sticks out because, hey, I like cars. The bottom line is that you have to have a person out there that's willing to make content. That's what influencers do. It's not necessarily the hashtag or the number of followers all the time, but it's how the content is produced and what the content is designed to do. That's what Andy doesn't get, because he doesn't know how to do that sort of thing. He didn't bother to ask questions. He just went on a silly rant. That was it. So, hey, pay no attention to this guy. Content always matters. And if you're a brand manager watching this, understand how to work with an influencer so that the influencer produces content that gets what you want. For example, a call to action. If you want someone to buy your product, have the influencer announce a call to action that's appropriate to cause that to happen. If you don't do that, you're not going to get what you want. Influencers, sometimes, but not all the time, because influencers do a great job of making sure brands are happy. But for those who are just sort of flitzing around, make a plan, explain to the brand how it's going to help their product get sold. But everyone has to realize this. What influencers do are create the equivalent of billboards online. You may not think you need the product when you see it mentioned, but it's going to be in your head when you need it. That's the whole point.